Hi, welcome back. It's Emily and Kristen with Making Math Make Sense. We have another game for you today. It's called Cover Up. It's a game that I use a lot in my classroom to work on multiplication and division fluency. So with Cover Up, they are going to roll their dice and they're going to try to find a number on the board that is a multiple of the number that they roll. That's how I use it with multiplication. We're working on our multiples. When I use it with division, we're looking for a number that is divisible by the number that we roll. So if we roll the number 6, we're looking for any number on the board that is divisible by 6. So this is a game that you can go either way, working on that inverse operation idea between multiplication and division. It's one of my favorites because I'm super competitive. So let's go, Kristen.
All right, now we play this game. The winner is the person who has the most counters on the board when after every number has been covered over. So it does matter who's red and who's yellow for this game. You could change the directions too if you don't have that much time to play the game, and you can make it a tic-tac-toe version, and it could be the first one who gets 3 numbers covered vertically, horizontally, diagonally, or you can make it 4 or 5, whatever direction you need to come up with that. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to click on dice. This time I'm just going to roll die, and I rolled a 2. So I need to cover over a number that is divisible by 2 or is a multiple of 2. And I am going to go ahead and use my red counter, and I am going to cover over this number 20 right here. 20 divided by 2 equals 10, or 2 times 10 equals 20. You obviously could have a piece of paper where the kids are recording their equations to prove the number that they covered over as well. All right,
Absolutely.
Emily, your turn. You've rolled a 2.
Okay. I am going to have you put it on the 24. And so when I have my kids play this game in class, there's a lot of talking going on because they have to say their equation out loud like Kristen just did. So they could say 10 divided by 2 is 5. They could say 2 times 5 is 10, or they can say 10 is the 5th multiple of 2. So those are a lot of the sentences that I'm hearing and I'm asking for in my classroom when my students are playing this game in person.
I just rolled another 2, so I covered over this number 32, and so I could say 32 is the 16th multiple of 2. 2 times 16 equals 32, or 32 divided by 2 equals 16. Challenge your kids to see how many different ways they could say it. Oh, you rolled a lucky number 1.
I did.
Here's some strategy that's going to take
Are
place.
we playing the tic-tac-toe version? Do I need to block you?
That's kind of what I was
All
thinking
right,
in
that's
my
kind of
head.
what I was doing too, because we got to keep this video short. So I'm gonna put my yellow counter on the 84, please. And I'm gonna say 84 is the 84th multiple of 1. Now, when I'm in class, I let my kids pick the dice that they're using. So some kids pick a 6-sided dice, which is our only option here on the Google Slides. Some kids pick a 10-sided die. Some kids pick a 12-sided die. I challenge, this is where you can differentiate this game between your kids. Some of my higher skilled mathematicians in my classroom, I push them to use those larger sided die. Oh, you
And
won.
the other thing too, you can very easily change the board. So you can change the numbers that you put on your cover up board to make them fit within the range that you're working on in your classroom. Obviously, our board here goes up to 100 so that we have different levels that can use the board, but you can very easily make your own cover up board and put your own numbers in there. Maybe you stop your board at 50. But with that number 1, make sure you put some prime numbers on your board and then talk about why is it important, how do you use that 1 when you roll it, because you're not going to get it as often as you get some, there's not as many choices to use with it. So that 30, I rolled a 6, so I'm going to put mine over that 30 right here, which means if we're playing tic-tac-toe, I win. Cover up is fun. As Emily said, very diverse, works on multiplication, works on division. Great way to get that inverse relationship and the language for multiplication and division established with your students.
Yep.
Have
My
fun
kids
playing.
also, my kids also, I put this in a plastic sleeve and they'll use dry erase markers and they'll keep the game going over a couple days time. So that's another way if you don't have the 2-color counters or if kids don't want to stop the game when your time is up in the classroom, stick it in one of those plastic sleeves, or they can just color right on the paper if you want, and they can keep the game going that way. It's really a fun game and the kids love it.